English class. Today we are going to be treating in use of English the topic conditional clauses. And note, this class is mainly for the JAM candidates in Nigeria that will sit for the 2023/2024 JAM examination. Okay, now looking at conditional clauses. If we are looking at words that show condition, we should look at words that give reasons why some things should be done and why some things should not be done. Now, looking at what we have here, we say that you will recognize a conditional statement by looking for the following. Take note. You look for the following words as if, and that's why I had it underlined here. If is what we are going to have focus on more. You see questions that will come out of this more. Okay, so we have if, we have provided or provided that, we have unless, we have in case. Okay, and now there are two kinds of conditions, and they are as follows. So we have here as number one kind of conditional clauses, we have the real condition. And as you can see on the board, we have if the action described here is practicable or has happened or can happen or likely to happen, then that statement is real, that condition is real. Okay, so if this is so, the verb in the two clauses of that statement of the condition should be in present tense. Remember, if you are talking about conditional clauses as in plural, we are talking about two clauses. So for the condition to be real, we need to have two clauses, and in the two clauses we should have a present tense in the first clause and a present tense in the second clause. So if we have a present tense in the first clause and a present tense in the second clause, it means what is being described is likely to happen or can happen, will happen also. Okay, now let's look at some examples. I've given examples here that if I meet you, which is clause 1, we should not identify a clause by now. So if I meet you, clause 1, I will beat you, clause 2. If you have your sense still active, you will look at this and examine something deep in it. Here we have, if I meet you, I will beat you. Having a present tense here and a present tense here makes this statement, this condition, to be real. It makes it look like it can happen if it is to happen. So we have, if I meet you, I will beat you. But what if we have, if I met you, I would have beaten you, or if I had met you, I would have beaten you. Discover that it shows or it depicts that you never met me or you cannot meet me, and you would have not beat me. Yes, because it has a past tense and a past tense. But now, for the condition to show that it's real, it is to have a present tense and a present tense in clause 1 and in clause 2. Present tense needs to be repeated. And that's why I said here that meet and will are present. Meet and will are present. Okay, so in the first clause and the second clause, we should have the repetition of a present tense. So meet and will are present. Okay. The second kind of conditional clause, we have number 2, unreal condition. Unreal condition is the direct opposite of the real condition. Now, in the unreal condition, or in the real condition to say, we said that first, we will have two clauses, and in one clause, the first clause, we have a present tense, second clause, we have a present tense. Now, in the unreal condition, we also have two clauses. In the first clause, we will have the past tense, and in the second clause, we also have the past tense. Okay, so in the unreal condition, we said that it is the condition that expresses action which has not happened and which is unlikely to happen. Remember, in the real condition, we have that it expresses action that is likely to happen or has happened. Okay, now it expresses action that which has not happened and which is unlikely to happen. The verb in the two clauses of the statement should be in past tense, like I instructed earlier. Okay, now we are going to check this unique example. The example sounds funny, actually. So if you think you can laugh, you laugh. If you think you can just be fooled, you do it. Now look at the example we have. If a lion came into this room, we will talk about it for weeks. If a lion came into this room, we will talk about it for weeks. Now, if you think of this statement, discover that it's just an imagination. It's something that does not look real or does not sound like or seem to happen. Okay, so we have it here that if a lion came into this room, we will talk about it for weeks. Now, came and would are past forms of the verb come and will. So if we were to talk about it in the real condition, we would have talked about it in the present tense, which is come and will. But we are talking about the unreal condition now. So we'll talk about it in the past tense, which is came and would, not come and will. Okay, so come and will, and this shows that the action did not happen. If you check it, the action did happen. Yes, if a lion came into this room, we will talk about it for weeks. It shows that it did not happen. So came and would are past forms, take note of it, of the verb come and will. And come and will depicts real condition. Came and will depicts unreal condition. And this shows that the action did not happen. Okay, now we are going to treat some questions. Now, before we treat the questions, I want to let you know something. You will see the question in this pattern. It's in this pattern. One part of the clause is stated, and another part of the clause, there is a blank space. And what are you expected to do is to fill in the verb that's supposed to be in the blank space, because the verb is already stated here, and another verb needs to be stated. And take note, in conditional clause, if the clause 1 is in the past tense, definitely you should have the clause 2 in the past tense. If the clause 1 is in the present tense, we should also have the clause 2 in the present tense. So it can be reversed. It can be reversed that the first clause will be in blank and the other one will be complete. So it's up to you to apply the principle. Remember, everything in English is based on principle. Okay, now let's read the first question. We have here, if I went to the cinema, I dash early. And looking at the options we have, if I went to the cinema, I shall return early. If I went to the cinema, I am returning early. Now, it's not applicable to this second one. Yes, some persons might think of the rule of Concord, which says that I should go with am. You won't follow that. Why? Because we are looking at conditional clauses where the verb in the first clause is a past tense. So you should get a verb in the past tense in the second clause too. Okay, so in C, we have, if I went to the cinema, I will return early. If I went to the cinema, I had returned early. And E, if I went to the cinema, I may return early. Now, looking at it, a sane person that has gotten the knowledge of conditional clauses will go for C, and C is correct. Okay, now we are going to look at the next question. We are going to treat the next question, and I will do the second, and you will do the third yourself. Okay, let's look at the second. Okay, here is another example. And before we treat this example, I would love to make something clear to you. And what I want to make clear to you is that you will not be only asked to fill up the blank space in the second clause or so. You will be asked to give the implication of the statement. The implication of the statement, like this example, we don't have any blank space given there. You might be asked to give the implication of the statement. Giving an implication of the statement in a case like, if the lion came into this room, we will talk about it for a week. Okay, giving an implication of the statement is, the question might come in this pattern: did the lion come into this room? So if it is true, if the lion came into the room with the principle of real and unreal condition, you will be able to give an answer to it. And with that, we are going to give an answer to this too. Now, looking at the question we have, had she asked me earlier, I might have been able to employ her. Now, you discover that in the two clauses we have past tense. Had she asked me earlier, I might have been able to employ him. Now, we discover that since it has past tense in the two, the condition is not real, or should I say did not happen, which means she didn't employ him. Had she asked me earlier, I might have been able to employ him. Now, you have in the options, A, I employed her. And what are we talking about here? Him. I employed her. I did not employ him. I did not employ her. I employed him. Employed her. Look at the question again. Had she asked me earlier, I might have been able to employ him. So, because she didn't ask me earlier, so I am not able to employ. Definitely, I did not employ him, and we have this as the correct one. I'm going to give the third question. I'm going to leave it to you to give an answer to it as we check the third question now. Okay, now we are going to look at the third question, and it's going to be left for you to do. But before I leave you with this question, I want to show you how to identify if it's a real conditional and unreal condition. Here we have where, and the second we have been. So with that, or could, with that, it can aid you in giving a proper answer to it. Remember to drop your answer on the comment box, like the page, and ring the bell for all notifications. Thank you.